We sincerely thank all of you for coming tonight. It is an honorable atmosphere to recognize our in 2023 inductees. We thank all of you for that. We sincerely thank our advertisers and our donor partners. Without them, or with them, we are able to provide the banquet. We have a Lancaster County website for the Sports Hall of Fame that keeps you up to date on the highlights in Lancaster County sports. And we have a display at Spooky Nook. So sponsors and donors, we sincerely thank you. Personally, from me, I thank the Lancaster County Sports Hall of Fame because those individuals, raise your hand wherever you are, Lancaster County Sports Hall of Fame. Put your hands up. You have a whole table over there. Put your hands up. Those individuals, first of all, our most important job is to select deserving candidates, deserving inductees, which we have a table full up here right now, and some of you are in the audience. And also, part of that goal of ours is not only selecting deserving candidates, but also providing an honorable way to recognize them, and that's our banquet tonight. Importantly, I want to recognize right now Jack Blackman, who will be coming up here, not right now, but he'll be coming up here when we're dismissed to eat, and he will give the blessing for the meal. Jack is a coach and guidance counselor, retired coach and guidance counselor in the school district of Lancaster for many years. As far as my thank yous, one more, and that is to the Eden Resort. First of all, they're putting together a delicious buffet, but also they provide very first-class accommodations for us. And so we thank the servers and the administration of the Eden Resort. Two congratulations. Two congratulations. First of all, I'm quickly congratulating the head table and some of you that are in the audience. Joe Calhoun is going to introduce you very shortly, but I'm giving my congratulations to the award winners. The second thank you has to do with Lancaster County sports is alive and well. We have professional athletes in Major League Baseball as players and coaches, the same thing in the NFL, players and coaches. We have many successful collegiate athletes and coaches from Lancaster, all native Lancastrians. And another example of Lancaster County excellence is the Lancaster Barnstormers. Right now I'm introducing Mike Reynolds, who is the president and general manager of the Lancaster Barnstormers. He's doing three things. He has a couple championship comments. He's going to show off some hardware, and he's going to ask you for some bullpen help. He's on his way up.
Good evening, thank you, Jack. Just want to say thank you all for having us here tonight. We've enjoyed a great partnership with the Lancaster County Sports Hall of Fame over many years since we've been here in Lancaster, and just appreciate the support from you as a community to come out to the games this past year and all the years that you've come out to our games. We've a couple of things I want to mention. I know that we were all hoping to maybe celebrate a Phillies championship or at least the World Series, but we do have the Barnstormers trophy that we've brought to Lancaster 4 times in our 20 years in Lancaster. So at least we can maybe celebrate this. You know, next year we are celebrating our 20th year. The first game was May 11th of 2005. How many of you were there at May 11th of 2005? Oh, that's awesome. You know, we have 4 championships, as I mentioned, and we're lucky enough tonight. We won in 2006. The manager of that team was here tonight, Tommy Herr. I saw him. Yes, there he is right here in front. 2014, we won the Atlantic League Championship, then most recently 2022, and then about a month ago, 2023, this year, we celebrated a fourth championship, and our manager, Ross Peoples, is here in attendance tonight as well. You know, minor league sports is, it's a great thing, but it takes a lot of support. And we are fortunate for the community, what you all do for us when you come out to games and enjoy a game of baseball with your family, friends, corporate colleagues. It just takes a lot of people to come out and support the team to keep it going. And we do our best to give back. So thank you all very, very much for your support over the last 20 years. And we hope to see you next year, April 30th of opening night for our 20th year. So give yourselves a round of applause for helping us keep the team here in Lancaster. 20 years is a huge feat. The last person I'd like to recognize while I'm up here, it takes our ownership group. We have amazing owners, and we do have one of our owners here in attendance. He's going to be embarrassed that I called him out, but Bobby Zuckerman, who is one of the owners here. Thank you, Bobby, for all you do for this team. Now we'll give it back over, but we gotta finish. Ross, Troy, Bobby, Aaron, want to come up? Local, come on, get up here, Aaron. Tommy, come on up here and help me start this off, right? So we are on this trophy 4 times, Tommy, back in 2006, and we're hoping to maybe get the first three-peat ever in Atlantic League Atlantic League history. So come out next year and watch us. But Ross, you gonna come up? You're not that. Come on, you're not that shy. Troy, Aaron, you're not gonna come up? 3, 2, 1.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back, 'cause it's root for the Stormers. If they don't win, it's a shame, 'cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Awesome.
Do we have a sponsor for that?
Yeah, we're looking at you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mike, and we wish you luck on a three-peat next year. Before I introduce Joe Calhoun, could we pause for a second, a little more than a second, and have a moment of silence for those notable sports athletes and coaches in Lancaster County who passed away in the last year. These include Gordy Kraft, Tony DiPaolo, Bob Herr, Larry Fisher, John McFalls, Lee Bossert, Bill Way, Whitey Venita. Additionally, 2 parents of individuals that are on our board, as well as any sports athletes from Lancaster that I may have missed. May we have a moment of silence. Thank you, and may they rest in peace. Finally, our Master of Ceremonies for tonight is Joe Calhoun. Joe has been our Master of Ceremonies for the last several years. Those of you who are loyal people and come all the time, we much appreciate you, and you know him. But I have a little history on Joe. Joe is a sharpshooting basketball product of his high school in Philadelphia. He's a Penn State graduate. He's an avid Philly fan, I hope, still, and also an Eagle fan, probably the Sixers, but I didn't talk to him about that. As you know him from TV, he's a mild-mannered chief meteorologist from WGAL. A fact you might not know about him, he had a second job career as a coach in both youth and high school sports, most recently as an assistant basketball coach at Manham Township High School. Now, we had to do an FBI check on him. Some of his assistant coaches said he was a fiery and competitive coach, nothing like what you see on TV. Several times his fellow coaches said when he didn't like the referee's call, and we got a bunch of referees here tonight, they'd have to grab him by the belt in the back and get him back in his seat, or there had been a technical foul on him. But he wasn't the mild-mannered meteorologist we know. When you talk to Joe, you can ask him some questions on his coaching. But really and sincerely, he prefers you don't ask any questions about the weather. Another question you could ask him: in his earlier life, he was a popular drummer on a rock and roll band in Philadelphia. Please welcome Joe Calhoun.
I don't know where he got the drummer part, but wow, that's going way back. Thank you for having me. I really do appreciate this. I enjoy this every year. Those of you who've been here before, you've probably heard me tell this story, but I think it sums up Lancaster County sports. Back in the early 2000s, my in-laws, my mother-in-law and father-in-law, moved in with us. My father-in-law was a big Phillies, Eagles, Sixers fan. And he kept saying, why is that newspaper, why do you guys on TV, all you do is high school sports, all you do is high school stuff. Well, fast forward a couple years after that, and I'd walk in after a game, he'd say, how'd you do? Well, Hempfield won. You know, so he knew, he kind of got inbred with that, and I think that's the nice thing and unique thing about Lancaster County and its sports. It's really a tight-knit community. But right now, what I want to do before we have my good friend Jack, I don't want to forget him this year, to come up for the invocation, they want me to introduce some folks here. Sitting at the head table, when I call your name, if you would just raise your hand just so everybody knows. Tom and Judy Getz. Dan and Karen Kreider. Also, we have Gloria Campbell and Earl Boots are up here on behalf of Steve Powell. Ed and Sally Flick, Bill and Jennifer Sassman, and Dave and Heidi Heisey. They're representing Barry Ford. Sitting in our audience is our inspirational athlete. That's Karen Hostetter. I believe she's sitting with another guest and her family, that guest being Parker, which I'm told is more than just her service dog. As well as the high school athletes of the year and their families, Maddie Kiner's family and Aiden Hodges' family. Also helping me to present some awards tonight, a couple of good friends, and that's John Walk. And in the audience is Coach Doug Kraft. But right now, to get started with dinner, I'm going to call up Jack Blackwell to give the invocation. For all the times he beat me, I should know it's not Blackwell.
Can we bow our heads, please? Dear Lord, thank you for us being here this evening. Please bless this event. Help us to make new friendships. Help us to remember the great athletes that are being honored here tonight. And let us have safe travels home. Also, please bless this food that we're about to receive. Amen.
Well, if you're like me, you had a rough night last night. And even though the Phils aren't in the World Series, bringing it back to Lancaster County sports, I was reminded that Travis Jankowski is on the Texas Rangers, a Lancaster Catholic product. So that's how Lancaster County sports does always come somewhere. We're going to eat dinner now. One of the reasons I like doing this is because the head table gets to go first. But The folks from the Eden Resort will come around to each table and dismiss you to the buffet table. Enjoy your dinner. Get to that after I introduce our first Christ Award winner. However, the board would like to recognize any of the past Christ Award winners. Any past Christ Award winners, would you please stand up? Any of our past winners? It's good to have you here. The Christ Award has been around for 32 years thanks to the Christ family. Jim Christ will be, on behalf of the Christ family, handing out the awards. But the Kirkner Award is 71 years that it's been given out. Do we have any of the former Kirkner Award winners here tonight? Please stand. Good to see you, Coach. Well, thank you for all coming out tonight. I always enjoy this evening, and I hope you will too. The first person I want to introduce is Tom Getz. Tom is the winningest high school baseball coach in Lancaster 11 in history. Led the Black Knights program for 29 years. As head coach, he went 423 and 211. He won 9 LL section titles, 6 LL league titles, 4 in a row from 96 through 99. 2014 went 25 and 5. Won the PIAA District 3, that's now the 6A title, beating eventual state champs Chambersburg, and that was the best ever, or the first ever, district crown for Hempfield. Over 10 years, for the final 10 years of his baseball or coaching career, he also coached football. I think Mrs. Getz should get an award for all that. Anyway, he had a 63 and 40 record in football, won the LL Section 1 title in 98 and 05, and was honored as the LL League Section 1 Coach of the Year in 05. Tom also spent time, where did you find the time? Tom also spent time as an assistant for both the Hempfield programs, totaling, get this, 62 seasons. So, he retired after 33 years of teaching in Hempfield. But now, Tom's not going to sit back, right? He goes to help out coaching at his alma mater, Manheim Central, on the coaching staff as an assistant. He was a 67 graduate of Manheim Central. He earned letters in football and baseball. In 1967, he was a Lancaster County All-Star. He's also been inducted to the Susquehanna Valley Sports Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Getz.
Step down here. No, I'm good. I know I'm on the clock, so I'll try to go as fast as possible here. When I received the phone call from Jack Neal informing me I was voted into the Lancaster County Sports Hall of Fame, the first thing I did was go to their website and see who else was in it. Simply the best of Lancaster County sports, without question. To think that the Hall of Fame committee thought I was deserving is truly humbling, and I am privileged to be inducted tonight with such an outstanding Hall of Fame class. Congratulations to all of tonight's award winners. Jack called me on the phone also and said he had 2 requests. Like I said, keep your speech to 5 minutes or less, and please don't tell the group how many times you struck me out when we played midget baseball against each other. I will try my best. What an honor to be a part of a banquet where the male athlete of the year is from Hempfield, where I was a teacher and coach, and the female athlete is from Manheim Central, my alma mater, and Manheim legend Dan Kreider is an inductee. Pretty special. Congratulations to Maddie, Aiden, and Dan. I also want to congratulate Bill Sassman. I don't know how the heck they got a Hempfield guy and a Manheim Township guy up here at the same time, but it happened. I want to congratulate Bill. To say that Manheim Township and Hempfield are rivals is a major understatement, and I had a front row seat to that intense rivalry in 2 sports. I have the utmost respect for Bill, and congratulations on a well-deserved honor. Tonight I'll do my best to thank all the great people that had a major impact on my coaching career. I would like to thank the hundreds of outstanding athletes that I was privileged to coach during my time at Hempfield. Some of Hempfield's finest are in the audience tonight. I want to sincerely thank them. They are the reason why an honor like this is possible. It's great to see all my old players. Thanks to Bob Wilson for hiring me as an assistant coach when I was a second-year teacher at Hempfield. Ray Oberholzer and Rich Catter were also on that staff in the mid-'70s. They took me under their wing and showed me what I needed to do to be an assistant football coach on a high school level. Fast forward 20 years, Bob Wilson is now Dr. Wilson and Hempfield superintendent, and he hired me as their head football coach. I can remember the day Dr. Wilson came to the baseball office and informed me I was going to be offered the football job. I immediately told him that I would resign the head baseball position and focus only on football. He said, "Why don't you try both and see how it goes?" I think it went pretty well. The highlight of my time with Bob, Rich, and Obi has to be when we beat Wilson to snap their 26-game winning streak, which was the longest in the state at that time. It's a game I will never forget, and I have something with me every day that helps me to remember that moment. After John Fayock kicked the game-winning field goal, he ran to the sideline and gave me a hug, only to have his helmet knock one of my front teeth out. Thank goodness for dental implants. Thank you to Bob, Obi, and Rich for their guidance and friendship. Also want to thank Jack Yo, who was the head coach for about 11 or 12 years at Hempfield before I became the head coach. I want to thank him for having the confidence in me to allow me to be his defensive coordinator during that time. Obviously, Jack's also in this Hall of Fame. So thanks a lot, Jack. In order to be successful a head coach, you not only need great players, you better have quality assistants. I was extremely fortunate to have my share of both. When Hempfield hired Bob Ritchie as a math teacher, I soon hired him as my JV coach. He did a great job of preparing our young players for varsity baseball. I was also fortunate enough to have Jack Merrifield, one of the best pitching coaches in the league, on my staff. If you look in our record books, you'll find that our pitchers authored 9 no-hitters and 1 perfect game, all under Jack's tutelage. Then sometimes you just get lucky. Tom Herr retired from professional baseball, and he agreed to come on our staff and share his vast baseball knowledge. It couldn't have worked out any better. In addition, I got to coach both of Tom's sons, who were all-star football players, and both were all-state baseball players. Like I said, sometimes you just get lucky. When I became the head football coach, I had a dedicated coaching staff who was more than willing to put in the time needed to give our players the chance to win. Gary Furman was my defensive coordinator my entire 10 years, and he did an exceptional job of preparing our defense. In '98, his defense stopped Manheim Central in overtime to preserve a victory over the Barons in front of the largest crowd I ever saw at a high school football game. In fact, his 2004 defensive unit had a record 6 shutouts, and our '05 team is in Hempfield's Hall of Fame. Frank Barton, did Frank make it here? Frank's here, okay. Frank Barton was our quarterback's coach, and a coach who, if I needed anything done football-wise, was my go-to guy. I want to especially thank Frank for getting here, as he is presently an assistant coach at Manheim Central, and the Barons are preparing this week to play Exeter for the section title. In addition to baseball, Tom Herr also coached our receivers until the Barnstormers came calling and hired him as their first ever manager. In order to compete with the best teams in either sport, you better be equal with them in the weight room. I found Josh Rittenhouse to run that part of our program. Our players bought into what he was selling, and he played a key role in our success in both sports. I would be remiss if I didn't thank Mike Williams, and Mike apologizes for not being here tonight. He just had a colonoscopy this afternoon. He couldn't make it. He called me before I left, right before I left. I would be remiss if I didn't thank Mike for giving me that phone call after I retired at Hempfield and asked me to coach the linebackers at Manheim Central. It was great to go back to my hometown and coach. The community, the players, and coaches treated me like gold during my 10 years there. After I retired, I used to reflect on my coaching career, and many thought at Hempfield I was too demanding of our players, and maybe at times I was. That was until I attended my first meeting with players and coaches in Mannheim. Coach Williams said football is a tough sport, and you have to coach them tough. I never second-guessed myself again after that meeting. Thank you, Coach Williams. Much of the credit for my coaching success goes to the support I received from my family. I got to coach my own son, Jonathan, in baseball, which was a great experience. I do regret I never got to see my daughter, Jennifer, play high school softball, because our games were always on the same day. Never got to see her play one game. Each year you read about a coach somewhere stepping down to spend more time with their family. I never received that memo from my wife, Judy. I tell her all the time she is the best person I ever met. She never once put any pressure on me to call it quits. She endured me coaching for 42 years and 72 different seasons. If there was a Hall of Fame for coaches' wives, she'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I also want to give a shout out to the table of Mannheim Touchdown Club members who are here tonight. They're simply the best football support organization of its kind anywhere. I am a member of their club, and they do a great job for Manheim Central football. Better than great. Thank you for your kind attention, and congratulations to all of tonight's inductees. Thank you.
Our next Crystal Award winner was a big 33 football player for Manheim Central, also played in the Super Bowl for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's Dan Kreider. Dan started out at Manheim Central. He graduated in 1995. He was an all-state back and linebacker for the Barons. That Barons team that he was on, the teams he was on, went 38-3. 3 LL League Section 2 titles, 3 PIAA District 3 crowns, and he advanced to the PIAA Eastern Championship both in 94 and 92. The 94 team at one point was ranked number 17 in the United States by USA Today. After that, he went on to New Hampshire. He was a 3-year starter for the Wildcats. After he left college, he went for 10 years in the NFL, 8 seasons with the Steelers. The Steelers signed him as an undrafted free agent out of New Hampshire in 2000. He was then named at the end of that year the Steelers Rookie of the Year. And you'll remember this, as a fullback, they called him the bus driver. He was a blocking back for the Hall of Fame running back Jerome Bettis. In 2006, Kreider started at fullback in Super Bowl 40 in Detroit. He finished his career in the NFL in St. Louis and Arizona. He presently lives in Millersville with his wife, Karen, and their 4 children, and he's been an assistant for Penn Manor since 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Kreider.
Well, thank you. It's a true honor to be up here tonight, and I just want to start by saying thank you to the Lancaster County Sports Hall of Fame and their board of directors for selecting me for this award, as well as congratulations to the other honorees tonight. All of you are truly deserving of your award, and truly an honor to have this night together. I just wanted to mention, Coach Getz, I got a call from Coach Williams here a little bit ago too. So I don't know what time yours was, but mine might have been either before or after that. So maybe when Coach was coming out of his procedure, maybe he was coming to and realizing he had to make a couple phone calls. I'm not sure. But first off, the first thing I want to say, a lot of times when people see me for the first time and it's been a while, they're just like, "Oh man, you look like you lost some weight. You look kind of skinny." And my response is always like, "Oh, nope, I'm still in game shape." No, but the truth is, no, I've lost some weight over the years, and I guess that's kind of what happens over time. I had some neck surgeries, and somehow when you can't lift as much anymore, you need to lose some weight. But privilege of the honor to be here tonight. So my football career started when my family moved from Manheim Township to Manheim Central when I was 12 years old. My parents had sold a farm, bought a farm in Mount Joy. And at the age of 12, I was constantly, after my parents let me play the game of football. At that age, you'd end up playing either midget football, and midget football was played on Sundays. And so my parents at the time were like, I don't know if we want to be leaving church early to go to football games. Come full circle, I spent 10 years in the NFL, and we went to games on Sunday for 10 years. So it's interesting how perspectives change. But obviously, entering into the Mount Joy area and being a Manheim Central School District was a start for me to get introduced to Coach Mike Williams, Coach John Brubaker, and that staff there, and being a part of that program. At the time, they were just starting to become the dominant force that they are today, winning district championships, and to enter into that program and to learn the game of football at that point was huge. They taught me everything about the game of football at that point, taught me how to play it, how to train for it, and obviously we had a lot of success. Like Joe said, 38-3 over 3 years, just a lot of success over 3 years, and some of the funnest football I played was at Manheim over that period of time. And I just am so thankful for Coach Williams and Brubaker and all that staff for all they did for me at that time. And also I would have mentioned how thankful I was to the strength coach at the time, is Cameron Payne. He was somebody who he took out of volunteered his time to come into that weight room and teach me how to train, and that was huge. I was somebody who had to really work at putting on weight and getting stronger, and the stronger I got, it did the job on the field. So I'm super thankful for his commitment at that time to me and the program. And I'm so thankful for the teammates I played with. I mean, we had some great football players that came through Manheim, teammates that played right alongside me, and I'm so appreciative to them and how hard they pushed. We pushed each other, became great teammates, and I think that's why we were able to be successful as we were, because everybody was about the team, about pushing each other, and just being better as a team. And just a lot of great memories that we had together. Like I mentioned, it's just, when I think back over my career, it's just high school football. There were some expectations being at Mannheim, but it's still a lot more fun. Then I would mention, just want to thank the Booster Club and the community and all the parents of Mannheim. Talk about an experience. I mean, they made that experience awesome. I mean, just all the effort to raise money, to create the experience for us as players was great. I remember coming home from a district championship win. They had a big flatbed trailer for all of us to sit on, and the band, they were going to take us around the town with this truck, and the band followed after playing. And that's what they did. We just toured around. Everybody came out of their houses and cheered us on. And as a 17-year-old, I probably didn't truly appreciate it. All I remember is thinking, well, what am I going to eat next? Probably. Because I got teenagers at home, and, food is a love language. Let's just be real. But that experience, having those boosters, the community, that just made that experience unbelievable. And it's easy to take it for granted when you're a kid, and now being in the other side of being in the coaching ranks, helping out the community in Penn Manor, it's just like it takes everybody. It takes families, it takes boosters raising money to make that experience so the kids can go out there and play and learn what the game of football is all about. And so appreciative of that. I want to say thank you to my parents. My parents are here tonight. I just appreciate all the sacrifice and things they did for me over the years to support my dream of playing football. They running me to practice. I grew up on a dairy farm, so there was endless hours to be spent working on the farm, but still made the time to come and support me and encourage and just allow me to learn the game on my own terms. We weren't a sports family by any means, and so I was the first one to kind of venture out and play this game of football, and so I'm appreciative for their support over the years. This Lancaster County is such a great area, and I mentioned this, the community there at Mannheim, just how the support they gave us, that was huge. And so now, growing up here and now being able to have the opportunity to raise my own family here, it's such a great area, and I think my desire now as somebody who's in, helping out coach is trying to impact the next generation. I think back to some of those people who invested in my life at an early age at that level and recognizing here's an opportunity now after the fact of being done playing football, being back home to be able to invest in the next generation and teach them things that I had learned first at home and then to be able to use those on the football field. Things like self-control, perseverance, teamwork. I mean, those things were instilled at me at an early age, and it carried me through. And I hope to be able to carry that along to the next generation as I help coach there at Penn Manor. So I want to finally just say thank you to the Lancaster County Sports Hall of Fame for celebrating sports in this area. It's awesome. I mean, there's a lot of great commitment to the game of football and all sports here, and for the fact that you have this banquet to honor the past and to celebrate the future. It's awesome to be a part of. So thanks again.
Our next honoree, Coach Steve Powell. Coach Powell is an all-time winningest boys basketball coach in LL League history, amassing a career record of 468 and 25. 26 seasons as the head coach, but he joined the McCaskey staff in 1972 as an assistant to Pete Horn for 21 seasons before taking over as head coach in 93-94. His teams had 11 LL Section 1 crowns, 9 LL League championships, 2 PIAA 3 District 3 Big School championships, and he advanced to the PIAA Big School semifinals in both 2002 and 2015. But I think the most impressive thing in this biography is that Coach Powell used his own money to provide meals to players. He used his own money to provide new uniforms, sneakers, warm-up jerseys, gear. He paid for basketball camps, academic tutoring, and using his connections to get his players' summer jobs. It wasn't about just being on the court, it was about the kids. He coached for a while with the same courage and determination that he taught his players. Coach Powell coached from 2014 through 2018 while battling oral cancer, which took away his ability to eat solid foods and to talk. Coach Powell told people the best way to battle cancer is don't think about yourself, think about the people that you care about. He was a graduate of Chester High School. He was a 2-year starter and captain there on the 1968 team, and then he came to Millersville, then Millersville State College. He was a 3-year starter, earned all Eastern Collegiate Athletic Conference titles, and he won the Ainsworth Award as team MVP in 71 and 72. He's been inducted into the Susquehanna Valley Sports Hall of Fame and also the Millersville University Sports Hall of Fame and the Chester High School Hall of Fame. Here to accept the awards for Coach Powell is Gloria Campbell and Earl Boots.
It makes me very happy to be here tonight to accept this award on behalf of Steve. Some of you may have called him Steve. Some of you may have called him Stevie, Bird, Coach. I called him my sweetness, but that's another story. So I would like to congratulate all of the other award winners who are here tonight. This is a pretty nice spot to be in amongst all this great talent and expertise. I'd also like to thank the committee for deeming Steve worthy of being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I would also like to thank his family who came here tonight. I'd like you to stand up, please, and be recognized. Steve was a great problem solver and very passionate about everything that he believed in, and that's what carried him very nicely through life and through his years of success at McCaskey. He was not successful by himself. He had help from his assistant coaches, Papa, Mike Mitchell, Willie McDowell. So thank you guys also for being with him. And I'm going to turn my time over to Papa. So thank you all very much.
I didn't write a speech. I'm going to come from the heart because Coach was my friend and I had the privilege to coach with him. I just want to share Bird as the man with you. His bio says a lot about a lot of things. But first I was thinking, what would Bird want you all to know about him tonight? And I think the first thing he'd want you to know that he had an angel and a rock in his life, and that was Gloria. And she was with him when times were good and when times were bad. So I just want to thank Gloria for being there for Coach and also being there for our coaching staff and the players, because she basically was our general manager for our program. So I just want you to know that. First of all, Coach, he adopted Lancaster as his home, but in his heart, he was Chester. He was a Clipper. Black and orange, I believe, they were the colors. He would also share with me his love for his family, his children, especially his grandchildren, his brothers and his sisters, and his many friends in the Chester community. And he had many friends in District 3, District 1, and District 12 who were also coaches. And generally our schedule was based upon his friendships with these various teams. Coach did not get into coaching to receive individual awards or individual accolades. He got into, I'm sorry because I was thinking about him. He got into coaching because he wanted his basketball program to be respected, to be motivated, and to be recognized across the state of Pennsylvania. And I think if you look at his resume, I think he achieved that. Coach would often talk about different things, but he was very proud of the fact that he had an all-black coaching staff. And that consisted of Coach Willie McDowell, Coach Mike Mitchell, Coach Al Taylor, Coach, I'm missing, Donald Butler, and myself. He felt he wanted his players to see men of color take interest in their lives. He felt from our coaches' experiences that would be a message for our kids. And I think that message was received because I think we now have two guys that are ADs. One is Miles Gallagher at Millersville University, Jerry Johnson at Academia. We have guys in the coaching ranks now, Jerry Johnson and Pinkerton, who is also in the coaching ranks. Jerry and Dustin had professional basketball careers, and we also had Chris Wilson, who had a football career. And we have a principal from our staff, from the players, counselors, guidance counselors, teachers, military, have owned their own businesses. And the other good part about this is they're good fathers. And these are some of the messages Coach wanted to share with these kids. And I want to share one real personal story that stood out about Coach. One day, Willie McDowell and I were standing out of McCaskey's gym, get ready to leave practice. There was only three of us. And he says, "Pop, I want you to ride, you guys want to ride down to Chester with me?" We were always riding down to Chester to get food and hanging out, you know. And he said his good friend, Fred Pickett, who was Chester High state championship coach, he was dealing with cancer. And Coach said, "I want you guys to ride down with me." And we said, "Okay, we're going to go down." And we spent the day with Fred. Fred has since passed away. So later on, I say to Coach, I said, "Coach, did Fred ever know that you were dealing with cancer?" And he told me, he said, "Pop, I didn't want to dampen his spirits with my cancer story." And I always stood out about that because he did not tell us, our staff, that he was dealing with cancer until we recognized he was losing weight and it was things that he couldn't hide. So that showed me the side of Coach. He thought it was more important for his friendship to go down and talk to Coach and see if he can encourage him to move on. In ending, I remember the day, but Coach was a good tennis player. Him and I were playing tennis up at Lancaster County Park. He tells me, "Pop, I'm applying for the McCaskey basketball job." And I said, "Go on, Coach. I'm with you. I think you'll do a good job." And I said, "Just remember, Coach, you know, there's haters, doubters. There's going to be some people upset with you if you get this job." So as time went on, he got the job, and I had to laugh because he says to me, he says, I said, "Coach, a lot of complainers here, a lot of people mad at us and stuff." He said, "I don't care, because my name," he said, "I'm Donald Duck, and I don't get, you fill in the 4 letters." He said, "I'm Donald Duck, and you fill in the 4 letters." That's how he responded to the critter. And what made it bad, it was more oppositional critters, people criticizing, opposition, but the fans, our own fans. So Coach said, "I got something for him." So I would have to say, I said, "Remember, Coach, if you take this job, you do it your way." And I think if you look at his resume and you look how he handled things, I think Coach did it his way.
Next, I'm going to introduce the winningest baseball coach in Manheim Township history, Bill Sassman. He was an assistant for the Blue Streaks from '84 to 1992, head coach from 93 to 2015. He also mentioned to me tonight that he didn't have to coach or teach any of my 3 sons. He got to teach my daughter, though, and I always said my daughter was probably the best one to teach. But anyway, after his overall record was 339, 179, and 1. PIAA state playoffs 4 times, District 3 playoffs 12 seasons, LL League playoffs 11 times, overall record in playoffs 37 and 29. The 06 team, and I remember this team, Township won the LL League title, the PIAA District 3 4A title. That was the program's only one. And Township went on to the state title game, but was unsuccessful in that game. I believe that was in Altoona, correct? Yeah, I remember riding out with some of the other Township folks to see that. Bill coached 6 players who signed Major League Baseball affiliated teams. He was named the Pennsylvania High School Baseball Coaches Association Coach of the Year and National High School Baseball Coaches Association Region 2 Coach of the Year in 06. He also went on to college. He was an assistant at Millersville University from 19 to 22, and at Penn State Harrisburg, he's been there since 22. I remember this, but I had forgotten about this. Bill was also an assistant basketball coach at Township from 84 to 92. And remember, the Blue Streaks team went to the PIAA 4A title game, the district title game in the 88-89 season. He was an outstanding athlete and outfielder at Muhlenberg High School, and then went on to Kutztown. In 92, he was inducted to the Kutztown Athletic Hall of Fame. In 1998, he was inducted to the Muhlenberg High School Athletic Hall of Fame, and he currently teaches math at Lancaster Country Day after retiring from Manheim Township back in 19 after 35 years of teaching. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Sassman.
All right, good evening and thank you everyone. First, I would like to thank Chairman Jack Neal and the Lancaster County Sports Hall of Fame board members for this honor. And thank you to a friend of Manheim Township Baseball, Tim Switch, to my left, for his persistence in nominating me for this award. This evening I got an opportunity to meet Jim Chris for the first time, and I would like to express my gratitude to Jim for his family's continued support of this award. Thank you, Jim. Second, I would like to congratulate all of the honorees and their families that are being recognized this evening. And when I was sitting at the head table, I said, this is really cool. This room is just filled with so many great people that I admire and respect. Before I start my comments, until recently, I